Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I know that we are around the globe, and many of you are probably going to come here and watch this video after the presentation live is taking place. As you know, it is recorded on our channel, and you can always come back and view this presentation. By the way, if you happen to be enjoying this presentation, you like what you hear, smash that like button. Let us know we're doing well, and let's tell the algorithm that this is information that we should really share with people. As a matter of fact, Tammy and I are really, really excited. The more we venture in this wonderful opportunity, the more we talk to people, the more stories we hear. And it's amazing to us how many people are actually open to what we're about to share with you. Very, very, very excited. So Tammy and I have been in the industry for well over 30 years, and I've been full-time for quite a while. As a matter of fact, we've done extremely well in this business. And this company has such a solid foundation for the present and the future. And there's so much more that we want to share with you this evening. Now, this evening, we're going to share with you kind of a summary of the presentation for you to have an idea of what this is all about. We have a few videos to share. We have some amazing testimonials to share at the end. Please stay to the end to hear this, because I'm telling you that we are impacting people's lives all over the world. Back to you, Tammy.
Absolutely. Real people with real results. And that's what it's all about. So to start this off, we wanted to share about the people behind the company, because Chris and I, when we evaluate something, we want to make sure before we tell anybody that this is the real thing. And Stuart Finger, I mean, this guy, he works from his heart. He's an amazing networker. He's been building business for many, many, many years. He decided to start his own company about 10 years ago, and they started with physical products. And he partnered with a gentleman by the name of David D'Arcangelo, and we're not showing him here on this slide, but he introduced Jim Poole to Stuart, and that's when the magic happened. That's when NuCalm had partnered with the company Xosialx, and it's been exploding over the last 5 months into many, many, many international markets. So we're really excited about that, because Chris and I are passionate about the global market.
Yeah, absolutely, Tammy. And on that note, we want to let everybody know that we have the pleasure of introducing Jim Poole on Tuesday. You see the information here. Now, there will be emails. We'll be promoting this, which I already started. But you want to mark your calendar on September 1st at 8:30 p.m. because we're actually working on Jim's schedule, and it's going to be 8:30. The session will be about 30 minutes or so, and then we'll open it for Q&A so you can really hear from him. Some of you probably have some very deep questions, science questions. That is the guy to talk to. So just wanted to let you guys know. And Adam will be here to participate and to introduce this gentleman so we can all benefit from his knowledge. Now, in line to what Tammy was saying, is the company has been around for a while. And in fact, they were into the kind of the CBD space. And because there's a lot of restrictions in many countries around the world, they shift to the non-CBD, and they went into the mist nanotechnology. And we're not tonight going to talk too much about the supplements that they offer, where Tammy and I are trying them and we're enjoying them. They're phenomenal, but they were in a handful, about 20 countries. Now, because of the merger with NuCalm, they went in, and I believe right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tammy, but I believe 130 countries around the world. There is no limit.
It's going fast.
It is really, really exciting, folks. This is going to explode, and we're excited for you to see this evening or this morning or the afternoon, depending where you are in the world.
Yeah, and the first time ever a digital health product has been dropped into our space. And Chris and I have always been part of companies that are wellness driven, physical products, dealing with shipping and all of that. And we've used great products over the years. But Chris and I were part of a mastermind group for several years. Not sure if you've ever heard of Eric Worre, but one thing that he said to Chris and I a few years back was, if companies don't evolve and bring in digital products, then they probably won't survive. And we're seeing it over and over and over again, companies not surviving. So when we heard about this, we started to dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And this product, NuCalm, has patents. We're going to go briefly through everything. It's cleared by the FDA, class 3 medical device for anxiety, depression, insomnia. And that's not a supplement claim. This is medical clearance. It's powerful. It originally started as a medical device, a $6,000 medical device that doctors would use in the hospitals and clinics. And yeah, so we're going to share a lot through this process. But let's talk a little bit about the market, because I think this is really important. Obviously, when you bring a product to market, there needs to be a demand, right? So it's not a manufacturing trend here. This is a global emergency with two major concerns that are fueling the universe globally today. And we all know, because we've all been through it, chronic stress, sleep challenges. So many people are going through this with the unknown of what's going on in the world today. And everything is so fast, right? We're evolving so quickly with AI and everything. And people have more stress, they have fear, they have anxiety, they worry about the future. And almost 40% of adults worldwide are stressed on a daily basis.
That's another statement. And folks, stress doesn't just stay in your mind, it shows up through your entire body. And
Mhm.
this is what, I kind of knew, but I never really understood to what extent until really I'm starting to find this out as we start learning more and more and more about the company.
Mhm.
You have stress in your heart, which could have high blood pressure, inflammation, cardiovascular risk, stress in the immune system, where you find that your immune system might be a bit weaker. It's all driven by stress. It's really, really interesting on how important it is to have a calm mind. And what we have to offer here can really make a difference for you, especially when you're dealing with stress and metabolic health. There's so many aspects that we don't realize how significant the brain is and how the body's impacted by what's going on. And Tammy said earlier, what's happening in the world is putting a lot of stress in people's minds, and people are losing sleep over it. I mean, I'm an example of it, of some situation that we're facing, and I'm telling you that this product has helped me personally to sleep better overnight. So, and we'll share with you as we go forward here. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, and you can see the track record on everything that's happening. And you know what's interesting is everybody that we're talking to, especially one of the testimonial tonight. Anna's going to be sharing that from Australia. Energy and frequency healing awareness is on the rise,
Mhm.
and so many people are aware of it and are using stuff like this on a daily basis. So it's really not a trend. It's something that's been out there for a long time. It's just being brought back, and people are understanding it more and more and more how important it is. And this one is proven. It's neuroscience. Okay, so it has a track record, 36 years, and they assembled 52 medical member advisory board members that are doctors, scientists, researchers. And these are the caliber of people that we've been recently talking to in the international markets. And they're very open, very, very open. And it's been used in 2.7 million surgical procedures.
2.7 million.
2.7. Yeah, crazy, eh?
Wow.
Yeah, as an alternative to general anesthesia. When I heard that, it just blew me away.
Oh, it's unbelievable. See, over 78 professional sports teams and professional thousands of individual athletes across multiple sports uses NuCalm daily. Just myself, Tammy and I, we do our walks in the morning, and we'll talk about some of the different programs that are there that we use regularly. It's approved by the US military, special forces, the Navy SEAL, the Air Force. It's even used by the FBI, and along incredible collaboration with Tony Robbins. There's Mark Victor
Mark Victor
Hansen,
Hansen, yeah.
very high performance leaders.
Yeah.
See,
Jim Quick, he's a they call him the brain coach. Yeah, he's incredible. He's also part of this. I've bought one of his courses, and when I heard he was part of this, I said, "Oh my gosh, we gotta check this out."
I
Yeah.
totally agree, Tammy. And we even have an endorsement here by Tony Robbins, which
Mhm.
says a NuCalm is the tool for creating balance in your mind and body. I highly recommend that you use it as a predictable, safe, and effective technology to manage your stress, improve your sleep quality, and provide a foundation for massive success. By doing it every day, you literally train your nervous system to function at its best. That is the key here, folks, is to use this daily. Back to you, Tam.
Yeah, and it's like turning up or down the thermostat. So basically, where you are right now in your frequency, let's say your energy is quite low and you want to have higher energy, you would go to ignite. If you know in the evening you want to slow down, you want to get a good night rest, cellular healing type of rest, then you would do deep sleep. And we're going to kind of go through that briefly after I believe you're going to share a video
Yeah,
right
yeah, yeah. Let me share a quick little video here,
now.
folks, to give you an introduction of each of the different programs that we have. Let's watch this together.
What if you could simply change the channel on stress, worry, and anxiety?
My apologies.
Or flip the adrenaline switch in your brain anytime you need it? You can. We all can. With NuCalm. NuCalm isn't a revolution. It's an evolution in the way we take care of ourselves. With over 3 decades of research and development, NuCalm's patented neuroacoustic software is clinically proven to create a physiological state change in your brain and body. With nothing more than your headphones and our mobile app, NuCalm gives you a suite of powerful tools that put the power of your brain in the palm of your hand. The human brain operates in a narrow band of frequency ranges, typically referred to as brainwaves. Each type of brainwave is associated with a different type of brain function. Throughout the day, your brain's frequency changes based on whether you're tired, anxious, nervous, excited, hungry, or anything in between. These frequency changes are normal, but not normally under our control, often forcing us to fight against our brain to achieve our goals, with a wide variety of detrimental side effects. That's where NuCalm comes in. NuCalm's patented neuroacoustic software reliably and safely interacts with your brain to speed up or slow down your brainwave frequencies using nothing more than your headphones, like a tuning fork. Our clinically proven neuroscience gives you the power to change the channel on stress or sleep or lack of focus, or to turn up the adrenaline when it's time to perform its best. Unlike typical stress apps, meditation, or binaural beat apps, NuCalm's journeys are engineered with the world's only patented, clinically proven neuroacoustic software designed to naturally guide your brain to different frequency states on demand. In fact, the simple NuCalm journey contains nonlinear algorithms and dynamic frequencies that can exceed 2 gigabytes of data. Stop letting life determine your frequency and start working with your brain, not against it. NuCalm is the power of clinical neuroscience in the palm of your hand.
I just love the feeling of this. So I know, Tammy, today we did the rescue, you and and I just love the feeling. But back to you here.
Yeah, and you basically heard it right with the video, the science behind it, and it uses complex physics, mathematics, and algorithms that are built into the software. So we're gonna go ahead and share some of the journeys, Chris, so people have an understanding. So you can see that there's 8 journeys, and we actually got an email from the company yesterday, and it was talking about some new frequencies that are released in this. So from what I'm understanding is they're going to have more and more and more, which is exciting because Chris and I haven't gone through most of it yet. So there's different journeys. You've got the rescue and power nap, which is the healing aspect of it. And if Chris, you just want to go through these slides pretty quick, you've got the deep sleep, which we absolutely been getting huge benefits from. And yeah, so when you wake up, you just feel so fresh and so ready to start your day. And normally, I'm a person that would get up in the middle of the night. Most of the time, I absolutely do not. And when I do get up, I go back to sleep right away.
Really quickly. Yeah.
Right away. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. One of my favorites is the Focus. That one I've been using this while I work because we work from home and because I'm a woman. Girls, you get it. There's so many things that we have to do in the household, right? So you can get easily distracted. So what I do is I put my headset on and I start doing my work, whether it's social media or whatever I'm doing, and I'm just totally in the zone. The Ignite, I love this one because some days you just don't want to work out. I don't know if you guys go through that, but we have those days, right? Where you'd rather be doing something else. Well, the moment we put something on, I love the one that's called Unstoppable. So if you're already existing associate, you definitely have to listen to this one. I'm telling you, it just puts me right in that state to push hard, whatever I'm doing in my peak performance. I love it, love it, love it. And then the workflow, I've been working a lot on AI and creating all kinds of things, just using my creativity. And I find that this really helps me go to another level. Because right now I'm doing these videos. If anybody of you are following us, all the stuff that you're seeing, this is the creativity I've been doing. And I just put my headset on and I'm ready to go. And then there's the priming. That one is fantastic because you go into the money mindset. This is when you really get to listen to Tony Robbins, Jim Quick, which I was sharing with you earlier, Roger Love. He's a guy that helped all the professional singers, specifically the ones in the 80s and 90s, to get to their peak performance in music with the voice. And he's also part of this. So he really talks about expression and your voice and not holding back. It's really, really good. You have to be part of this to understand it. And then they got the rock star mindset. It just puts you in wonderful states. And here, just a little bit I'm going to share here because it's something that I'm pretty well learning. The ladies that are going to do the testimonies, they know this stuff, and so the vagus nerve is the longest and most complex nerve in the body, between the 12 cranial nerves, and it's the one that connects the brain to the body. Okay, and it creates that balance in your nervous system. It regulates your heart rate. It controls your digestion. It manages your breathing. It reduces inflammation. It connects the gut brain axis. And yeah, there's just so much more. Chris and I are more excited than ever in this industry. I get blown away more and more and more as I listen to this.
I totally agree, Tammy. And you know, one thing I love about this app is once you run it, you'll notice there's an icon here and you can actually do a stress test. You speak to it for 35 seconds. It doesn't matter. You can mumble, doesn't matter really what you say. And for 35 seconds, and it's going to give you a score. And you really want to be within the green area. That's the goal. And I know that I was just like borderline 79. And so, I mean, you know, there's so much things going on, and I have to redo another one. I should be doing it daily. But I know that I'm using this ring here that actually calculates my sleeping pattern. And I was always between 75, at the best 87, 85. Now I'm at 89, 93, 94, 89. So I can tell that, and I feel rested in the morning. I absolutely love it. So the app itself has the tool. Now, so this is the one of the three products we want to talk about here tonight. This one here, this is huge. See, Tammy and I has dropped literally tens of thousands. I'm being actually conservative here, a lot more than that, in traveling and hotels and programs and just being, you know, we were following Eric's mentorship for 4 years. And those of you that maybe have been in his home and you've been around him, you know how expensive this guy can be. But again, I understand why he charges this. My point in saying is we spend a lot of money for our own personal education about money, about investments, all of these things. And here we are now. you have access to multimillionaires and billionaires. And every single week, there is a new video that is being dropped into this Xosialx University, which is available through the app, and it will explain to you exactly what it is. The app that we shared with you earlier is specifically for the use of the sound frequency. There's another app that you have access to through the Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store. And then from there, you can actually have access to all of these tools. And one of the tools is the Xosialx University. Let me give you a quick segment on the kind of the information you receive here. Let's watch this together.
These are international players, right? But what is the difference between a video that can get 10 million views and a video that is getting 100?
I said, I'm not the 1%. I'm the 1% and I'm the 99%. I'm 100%. I started out with no money.
I just saw him release a quote that I absolutely love, and I'm going to own it. Snoop said, when you come from nothing, you appreciate everything.
And so I help people who are controlled by their money understand how to take control and how to convert that so they are in control of their money.
I got 4 standing ovations. I got off the stage and went into depression. Well, because I could get my income past $40,000. And I thought I was a failure. Duh.
You know, I met a 102-year-old person here in Florida that, let's just say they bought their first home at 20 years old. They've been paying the government 82 years because it never ends.
So I come home and my wife walks downstairs, says I got to run to the store, jumped in the only car we had and took off. When I got upstairs to the apartment, there's all the clothes piled in the middle of the room with my little 2.5-year-old son there and a big note that said, sorry, I just can't be a mom anymore.
19 million views in 24 hours and gained me 102,000 followers. And I hate that my back had to be against the wall for me to just be myself.
Press on. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not, genius will not, education alone will not.
We don't need a lot of things. What we need is information and action. Because ideas are welcome, execution is worship.
Everybody's capable of being better, doing better, having more, reaching another goal.
And then always remember, assets are sexy.
I love it. You see, and this is the point here, folks, is not only we're getting incredible tools for our well-being, but we're also getting knowledge to be able to really take advantage of this economy. Some people may see that as a problem and others may see it as an opportunity. And to mingle with people like that, it helps us see better. And this is the app. This is basically the product that's available. And I'll share with you how you can get that. It's really straightforward. But through this app, you have all the marketing material. You have access to Xosialx University. You have access to everything you need. And you don't have to go anywhere else to start paying a lot of money for third-party tools to promote your business or social media. Absolutely amazing. And the way this works is you can start just with the Xosialx NuCalm app. So in other words, you just get the app, try it. You can even try it for 30 days. If you're not fully happy, they will refund you, no questions asked. Really straightforward. They're very confident in their product. This is Xosialx University, which is around $60. And of course, then you have the app that's around $10 a month. So what they did is they created an all access pass to have access to all of these things, which again is 100% money back guarantee. Okay, so this is what we recommend to start with, but understand that you can start just with the app and just to get a feel for it and get your feet wet a little bit before you start getting into the program itself. So Tammy and I are really, really excited. See, we have been in this industry full time for over, I would say now 30 years, full time. And I can tell you something, folks, is I've studied compensation plan in details. And the reason why is because that's what we do for a living. And Tammy and I have a wonderful lifestyle that we want to maintain, not only maintain, but we want to thrive. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to share with you a little bit of a summary. And if you feel that maybe there's too much information, dismiss what you don't get. Just absorb what I'm going to share with you that makes sense to you. Because understand, we have trainings, we have lots of different opportunity to learn all of this. So let me explain to you how this works. So the first experience bonus, the way this works is on month 1, let's say you introduce me and I say, okay, I want to try the NuCalm. I pay my $42, $49, you receive $10. It's as simple as that. If I choose to come in with the all access pass, which I highly recommend, and you can always upgrade to it, no problem there. You receive $25 on month one. But after that, in consecutive months, the way this works is the company will continue paying you as people keep paying for their monthly service. So what if you look at this here, the 42.49, if you divide this by 2, it's around $21. Let me rephrase that. It's around 21 CV. It's $21, but that turns into 21 CV. That's commissionable volume. That's what these percentages are based on. So on month 2, you will receive 5% from that 21. It may not seem like a lot, but it accumulates. And as you start introducing people to the company, let's say in this case has to be over 21, then you're at 50%. So that means from that point on, you'll be receiving $10 every single month as they use their product. If, for example, you have associates that are coming with the All Access Pass, which is what we highly recommend, then you fast track, instead of having 21 members, you only need 7 to get 50%. So when you look at the 21 CV, 50%, or in this case, which is 99, let's say $100, it's around 50 CV. So that's $25. Okay. So that's what you get every single month. So let's say you got 15 customers that are on the All Access Pass. Well, that's 15 times $25. You understand? So this is how it starts. This is the money that you get every time people pay for their services. Now, what I want to share with you now, it's a concept of the 2 pennies a day for 30 days. Would you prefer having $1 million today, which I know that sounds attractive, and most people say, I would go for that. But if you consider the process of a penny a day doubling for 30 days, you would end up with over $5 million. Do you understand? That's what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm about to share with you. This is the comp plan. Now, I know there's a lot of colors and a lot of numbers, but it's really, really simple. The way it works is you have 3 members. When you sponsor people, you can only bring 3 in front of you. After that, they end up underneath. And it's a force matrix 3 by 20. So every time someone else comes in, it just takes the next line and it fills in every single hole. Okay. But if people starts working also, they're also going to contribute in filling those holes with you, because from their position, the same thing happens. So when you look at this, the same concept. Now, remember, this is based on the NuCalm only. Most people are starting with the All Access Pass. So it's not going to be 21 CV, but it'll be 50 CV. And that's not including people who orders products. There's people ordering products also. All of that compounds. But I'm going to keep that really simple, only focus on NuCalm. So that's 21 CV. So on your first level, you have 3 people. The moment you have 3 people, that's 3 times 21, 2%. That's when $1.26 comes in. This is like 1 penny, 2 penny, right? It doesn't seem like a lot, but it compounds. And this grows every single month as the team starts growing. And folks, I'm telling you, people are excited about this technology. So you're looking at a cumulative here that could be around $6,000 in this particular case. Now, this gets even better than that, because remember, there's 20 levels, but now we're only looking at 7. If we keep moving forward over here, there's a strategy to really share this with everybody that wants to earn something. Okay. It's based on 3 people. Everybody brings 3. That's it. That's what we do. You're looking at a potential of around $6,000 a month at 7 level. Folks, I'm telling you, Tammy and I have been doing this for a long, long time. We know the power of the compound growth of an organization, and it's unbelievable. And we're just getting started. This merger occurred about 5 months ago. Do you understand? Wait till 5, 10 years from now. This is going to be massive. Now, as this grows, when you start introducing your first 3, you get $50 bonus. The moment you introduce 7, it adds another $200. The moment that the people that orders everything, it's not CV now. Whatever money they spend, if it's $100 or $42, it counts all of that. And the moment from your position down to everybody gets to 5K, then they send you $500. And this goes on all the way up to 500K. So Adam, many of you have met him, is at 100K, right? And I assure you, and I promise you, Tammy and I are going to go all the way to the top. And the reason why is because we know how to get there. And it starts like everybody else. one position, and it grows. And I'm telling you, folks, this is going to explode because people are getting wonderful results. And this is just basically how the money they pay as you reach these different levels. Okay. So it's just, again, you don't have to retain all of this. It's just for you to have an idea of how this money flows. These are income that are paid to you one time based on reaching these levels. These are bonuses over and above your salary that you earn. On top of that, you have what we call a worldwide loyalty bonus pool. As people start growing and growing, the company starts increasing their revenues, then what's happening is they take a percentage of the share, which is 10%, and it's shared among the different levels. When you reach the 10K, that's when you start taking advantage of these shares. And obviously, the higher you get, the less people there are in this pool, there's more money to be divided among the people that are there. And that's just multiplied by the amount of shares based on the level you're at. Okay. Now, what's really exciting now is, what about the people like you and I that are just getting started and you get your first 3? Well, what's happening is every time you bring 3 people, you receive a pool that is based on 5%. So there's going to be bonuses that is paid immediately right now. The moment, every time you bring 3, it adds another amount of that pool. And this goes on, and that's a promotion that's taking there. As long as each member come in with either the $99.97, which the all access pass, or in some cases, some people like to order the products, then whatever it is, as long as you reach these amounts, you qualify when there's 3 people that come into your business. So these are pool that was added. It's a bonus that was added about 3 weeks ago to encourage the people to bring 3. And that's the power. That's exactly how this works. And that's the strategy here, folks. That's the game plan. So if you look over here, you bring 3, $10 times 3, that's $30. You add your bonus that I mentioned earlier, that's a total of $80. If they came with the all access pass, well, obviously it's 25 instead of 10. So 75 plus 50, it's 125. If you get into the manager 7, that means you introduce 7, you do the math, $70 plus the 50 plus the 200, that's $320. Obviously, if they came with the all access pass, it's a bit more, it's $425. So these are the strategies that, if duplicated, that's how an organization grows. And trust me, we've done this. We've done that for quite a long time, and we know that this system works. It's simple and it's duplicatable. Now, here's something that's very important to retain, folks. This is something that is patent for this company only. Now, some of you will understand this, and some of you, if you don't, that's totally okay. Let me explain to you what happens. When you introduce 3 people, the 4th person you introduce, they will introduce a clone. Do you know what that means? So when you paid to become a member over here, that's your position. Do you realize that that exactly is another position, and they pay you from that level 1, 20 level down also? If you introduce a 5th person, you gotta get another clone. If she's a 6th person, you gotta get another clone. I believe, Tammy, we have something like 13 clones.
Yeah, quite a few clones now I'm seeing. Yeah.
I didn't really see what are those, and was that's these are positions that are multiplied. So, folks, this is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling. When I think on the fact that with a previous company, we had over 623,000 members around the globe. I mean, I'm taking a percentage of that in here. I mean, that is life-changing.
And that's patented, right, Chris?
Yes, it is patented.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No other network marketing company can copy this. It's a patented part of the compensation plan, which makes it very unique. We have very unique ways, of sharing this company that nobody has. And you always want to be ahead of the game, ahead of everything. That's when you go into hyper momentum. And like Chris said, we're 5 months where NuCalm has partnered with Xosialx, the only network marketing company that will have this product. And it's a shift to digital. We talk to people every single day, especially ones who come from physical product companies. And they're looking for something digital that has so much value. So they're all saying, send me the info, send me the info. Oh, this is really interesting. Send me the info. We're getting these comments constantly every single day. And it's worldwide, it's truly global. And we all know that mental health it's it's mainstream. We've been hearing about it. We all know what's happened over the last 5 years. Everything that's happened has caused a lot of issues with people's health. And you all know that when you love something and you tell somebody about it and they tell somebody about it, it just expands and expands and expands. We've been talking to people that we never knew before, but because somebody came in and they introduced us to somebody, we're in another international market. We're in another international market. It's very, very interesting, and people are so open to this. So it's rising. All of this information is getting out there, and technology is there. So we can really leverage a lot through the social networking platforms for sure.
Absolutely. And so you can see here that we are absolutely global, and this is not going to stop anytime soon. This is going to explode. And the fact is, it hasn't been around for a year. So I believe there's something like 194 countries around the world. And we're going to reach that very, very quickly because people need what we have to offer. So let's all bring this home here, folks. Say the company has been around for 40 years. This is Xosialx. And the merge. So in other words, we have the benefit of a company who's been around with solid foundation. And now we're adding the technology with NuCalm, which is going to propel the company to a whole new level. This is uniqueness. There's 2 US patent, right? Zero competition. It's the only neuroacoustic platform of its kind on Earth. Folks, we are very, very, very fortunate. Now, at this time, Tammy, I'm going to turn this to you to introduce 2 wonderful, wonderful ladies that are going to be sharing some testimonies in reference to their experience with the product. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Tammy. Please go ahead.
Absolutely. Hey, ladies, so great to see you. Jasmine Tiber, she's been a very good friend of ours. We've been business partners for so many years, at least, 15 years?
Yeah.
Jazz, oh my gosh. And we got chatting a little bit today. She's a restorative dental hygienist for 48 years. When you look at her, there's like, no way, were you a baby? And she totally loves the health industry. And she loves the science behind it. So when we were telling her about it, she's, oh my God, I got to be part of this. And I know you're going to share some stories tonight. I don't even know what you're going to talk about, so I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Wonderful. So anyway, that was a fabulous presentation. Every time that I see it again, I just get inspired all over again. So just keep thinking of other people to share it with. And I've now been using the NuCalm app for just over a month. And what I'm going to be sharing tonight isn't about an experience that I had personally, but it was with my bookkeeper. Her name is Kim, and it's something that I experienced with her together. And so just to give you a little bit of background, I'm going to share a little bit about her and her medical history so that this might help you relate to other people that you know that have these kinds of issues going on in their life or circumstances. So Kim is on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, and but she has Asperger's, which means that she is brilliant. She is actually Mensa. Her IQ is Mensa. She has a very, very high IQ, but she has a difficult time processing things the way that other people do when it comes to social interactions and just life in general, but brilliant as a person. So she also has arthritis, and she has something in her knees that's called Baker cysts. And these Baker cysts are basically filled with fluid, and then are inaccessible, and they're extremely painful. So her knees swell up. She has difficulty with everything, with walking, with stairs, with riding a bicycle, and she's in excruciating pain all the time. So probably about 2 months ago, the doctor said, we're going to do a treatment for you. And what we're going to do is basically they put an injection in her knee, and they do it with like laser radiation that they're burning her nerves. They're burning the ends of her nerves so that she doesn't have any feeling. So that's the only way that they could minimize the pain, by burning her nerves. Now, I work in a dental office, and I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but sometimes when we give local anesthetic, if the tip of that needle touches a nerve, just grazes it, it's like you're getting an electrical shock, like you're being prodded, and patients will jump. They'll literally jump out of the chair because it's that excruciating and that painful. So Kim had this treatment done that for 20 minutes, they had to take this radiation and inject it into her knee. So first they put in local anesthetic, and then they put this radiation laser for 20 minutes to burn your nerve endings so that it's going to minimize her pain. So she had it done on her right knee and told me that she screamed and cried for 20 minutes straight when they did it. But at the end of it, and for the next 2 months, she's had much, much less pain in her right knee. So the end result was great. The treatment was horrific. So now it's time for her to go in and get the left side, the left knee done. And she's like, Jazz, she goes, Jazz, you got to go do this. And I know it's going to help me, but I can't manage another 20 minutes of this crying and screaming. And will you come with me? So my initial support was going to be to go there and hold her hand. That's what I was going to go do and try to calm her and try to help her relax through this. And then that morning that we were going together, I went, oh my gosh, the NuCalm app. I'm going to bring it with me. So of course I have it on my phone, and I called her up and I said, Kim, I said, do you have headphones? Do you have a set of headphones? And she said, yes. I go, bring them with you. And she goes, why? And I said, because I've got something that I think is going to help you through this session. And she goes, what is it? And I said, well, you know how sometimes like when you need to sleep, I said, you know, that you have these relaxation things that you listen to. And right away, again, remember, she's on the spectrum. She's resisting. She goes, Jazzy, she goes, I can't do that. She goes, I can't do this, that you have to envision the waterfalls and you have to envision the waves. And they tell you, you just picture yourself that you hear. She goes, if I haven't been there, I can't do that. That doesn't work for me. Again, I'm telling you all this background to understand the resistance that some people have. And even with that, I want to tell you how this worked. Amazing. It blew my mind. So we go in there. I just said, bring your headset. I go, it's not that. You don't have to envision anything. You're just going to listen to something. And I didn't tell her to bring goggles. So I said, bring a pair of dark sunglasses. I forgot to tell her that. So anyway, we get to the appointment. We go into the clinic. And she's like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. It's going to be awful. It's awful, la, la, la. And they take her blood pressure. Before she goes in for this session, her blood pressure is 171 over 101. So her blood pressure is super high, but they're still going to do the treatment. She goes in. I said, okay. So I ended up giving for her power nap. She listened to rescue. She listened to power nap just a little bit before we got there. And power nap to her seemed the more calming one. So I said, okay. So I put power nap on my phone, on the app, and hooked it up to her headset. And then I put it on the loop because you know that there's an end chime. And I thought after 20 minutes, she's not quite done. So I did it on the continual loop. So anyway, she goes in, and the only thing that I heard from her was a little, ah, and that was it. One little sound like that. And then it was silent for the next 20 minutes. I was just outside the door. Wow. She came out and I looked at her and I said, wow. I said, you weren't screaming and crying for 20 minutes. She said, yeah. She goes, this one was so different. And I went, wow. And then guess what? They took her blood pressure again. Instead of 171 over 101, it was 121 over 101. The systolic came down 50 points. I'm like, unbelievable. There's a physiological change. There's an emotional change. There's a psychological change. There's a peaceful change. Wow. Unbelievable. This blew my mind. And this was with somebody that resisted and fought it till the last second and said, I blew my mind. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with everybody, that this is something that we can help so many people with. So back to you. I just was overwhelmed. I'm fighting back the tears. So
wow. Thanks for sharing, Jazz. Imagine all the people that we're going to be able to help with this. It's so exciting. And I don't know if you know, but the creator of the device, Dr. Holloway, he's the one that connected with Jim Poole to bring this to market. But he was the one that created this, and he developed Asperger's. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Yeah. So, Anna, I mean, you've got such a big credibility bio here. I'll just go through a little bit of it, but Anna Peters, we have done business with her in the past. We met her in Australia. We had connected back and forth on social media. Her and I chatted, how many weeks ago? 2, maybe?
At the most.
Yeah. And we were just kind of going back and forth and, just sharing some experiences of the past. And I was telling her about what Chris and I are up to. And she said, oh, send me some information. And then when I send it to her, she goes, oh my gosh, we have to have a Zoom session tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, wow, because she knows this stuff. Holistic practitioner. She does DNA testing, gut DNA testing, full generic profiling. I mean, I can go on and on. She works with people with weight loss, chronic fatigue, even removing blocks and old patterns in programming. So I guess that's where you're really caught the frequency kind of thing with that, and energetic healing. So Anna, I'm looking forward to hear what you have to say. I know we talked a little bit about some experiences. So go ahead and take the floor.
Thank you, Tammy and Chris. Thank you for having me. And it was lovely to hear what you witnessed, Jasmine. Well, I'd like to explain it from my practice perspective and what this means. But then I'd like to tell you my personal experiences and how important it is for me personally as a practitioner, and the demand that I have on a daily basis running a practice, being a trainer, education. So I teach a lot. And so, and I'm on a farm, we have animals. So there's a high demand of performances. And if I get woken up by dogs at 3 a.m. because they're on the prowl and they're guard dogs, and, there might be foxes, they're guarding the property, you get drawn out of a deep sleep, and, it's very hard to get back into a deep sleep usually. So I have, now I have a solution and it's working. But from a practice perspective, I'd like to explain this, because in my practice, usually when people come to me, they're very, very sick people, and they come to you because their baseline is very low. They haven't got they're not at the health baseline. And so you have to get them to a baseline, you have to do all those tests, and you have to see where they're genetically compromised, where they're not working properly. And then if they've had trauma as a child, then you've got the energetic side where you have to reprogram their operating system, which we use the healing work, which is the frequency work, where we have to buy a lot of equipment and a lot of things to get them into an alpha brainwave state where they are relaxed and they're not fearful. And you basically you're treating the vagus nerve to get out of fight and flight mode. And so to get people's health to where they need to be for a baseline is the first thing that I have to do when they're very, very sick. And we have to use a lot of supplementation and a lot of protocols to get them to a baseline. The amazing thing about these tools and these frequencies is that once we get them to that baseline, these people also have high positions. They might be executives, and they have demanding jobs. They might be a mother. They might have, 6 children. And to be able to get yourself into a frequency on demand, to be able to control your emotional state and, making sure that you're not in fight or flight mode, because when you're in fight or flight mode, your body cannot heal. And doesn't matter what we give someone, if we don't change their state of mind to be able to relax enough so that the body can absorb the nutrients, can absorb the nutrition, can absorb the supplements, all of those things are so important. It works hand that we always talk about mind, body, spirit. And that's the space I work in. And this is from a practitioner perspective has helped me so much. Sometimes we get very sick clients. They're going through cancer. They're going through serious treatments, and they go through anxiety every time they're about to go through a very painful treatment or a harsh test, just like Jasmine explained. And to be able to relax them, and they can have that protocol on demand at home just with an app and have access to it at home. So that's in between. If they see me every 4 weeks, now they've got something at home, a tool that they can use themselves to be able to get them into that state. But from a personal perspective, having such a high demand position where if I got woken up at 3 in the morning, and this happened to me in the first week when I got the app, as you know, and my dogs woke us up at 3:30 in the morning and we had to get back to sleep. So we used the app. It was unbelievable to be able to fall asleep straight away. It was phenomenal for me. And also, you know, in the day, because I got up at 3:30, about 1 o'clock, I had to perform at 2 p.m. I had a very important business meeting, so I had to be very sharp, but I felt like taking a power nap. And I thought, well, how about I try the power nap app, which I did. And I thought, oh my goodness, but the dog was in with me, and she's a very young pup. And we have this one room, and she came in, she wanted a rest, but I thought, oh, she usually wakes me up barking horrifically. She's got such a loud bark. I'm thinking, is she going to let me take a power nap for 20 minutes? So she was very quiet through the 20 minutes. When it finished, which felt like 5 minutes, it was mind-blowing. She would normally bark at me profusely with very loud, high-pitched bark to go out. And I thought, she came up to me gently. She came up, she poked me with her nose on my leg and looks at the door. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it's working. It's worked on the dog. And that just blew me away. And I let her out and I ran to my husband. I said, you're not going to believe this. You know, the dog did not profusely bark at me like she normally does. She gently poked me and looked at the door and basically was communicating. She was very calm. And I was blown away. He said, quick, do me. I want the power nap. And I said, I can't. I've got a meeting in 10 minutes. It's important. So I played the focus, which was, it totally relaxed my mind, and everything flows in. The information that you have to present. I was so blown away that I was right on point during that business presentation. So I could tell, because if I'm hypo or if I'm tired, or if, you know, when you just wake up out of a deep sleep from the power nap, I quickly pressed that focus for 10 minutes, and the meeting was amazing. After that, my husband said, now do me. I want the 20-minute power nap, because we both got woken up that morning. And so he had the nap, and he said, after the 20 minutes, he said, was that 20 minutes? I said, yes. He said, it felt like 5 minutes. He went into a snore. And so, of course, he said, this is amazing. We used it that night for deep sleep. So he said, I want this because it's on your app, and I've got to go to the dentist next week, he said, and he's had that really deep surgery where they have to put really deep local injections, which hurt, to go right up into the gum, because it's deep surgery where they have to clean right deep into the gum. And he was anxious about it. I said, why don't you take the rescue and take your headphones in and go in there and tell me, because you've already done 2 quarters. I want to see what it's like. I want you to tell me the difference. And he said that after the surgery, he said it felt like 5 minutes. And I said, wow, because I always get, nobody likes the dentist. No one. I don't know anybody who enjoys going to the dentist, Jasmine. Right. So my husband said he couldn't believe that. He said, compared to the last time where it just felt like 20 minutes, 25 minutes was taking forever, he said this felt like it just went through 5 minutes. And he had to go for the final one. This was yesterday. He said, the guy said, this one's going to hurt a lot. We have to give you 8 injections and you still might feel it because it's right up in the nerves. And he said he could still feel a little bit, but it still felt 5 minutes. And he explained it to the dentist. So, of course, I'm going to have a meeting with the dentist. This is, this is the whole point of, and I understand how to be able to get yourself into that state at any time of the day. I also had an incident yesterday and on Sunday. It was very, I was very upset about a situation, and normally in my genetics, in my physiogenomics, it takes about 3 days to pass through my brain, where it's sitting in there. It's not water off a duck's back for my genetics, and I hold on to the anxiousness and pain and upset feeling. So I used the app, and I couldn't believe it. It just disappeared afterwards, because you're changing your state of mind with one frequency, with one tap of a button. and you can feel it, and you go, wow, I don't feel upset anymore. And this is just phenomenal for someone who's an empath, who feels everything for other people. Even when other people are going through pain, we feel it. And you have to perform, you have to work, you have to sometimes I have to perform where I'm presenting. As a presenter, you have to present information and you have to be on point. And if you're upset about something, it can really make the presentation not as interesting, because there's an underlying issue going on in the background, and usually people can tell that you're not your normal self. So for me, it's an absolute must to have in your daily life and daily practice, because you never know when a curveball is going to come around the corner and hit you so hard that you go, wow, but I've got to keep continuing with the day, because I'm I have a high responsibility, of a high demand situation like Jasmine has, running a dentist practice, and you've got appointments and you've got to be there. And so, and I'm using it on my horses, on the animals. We have 8 horses. And, sometimes the testosterone in the male horses can be quite interesting, and how they interact, and especially if they're fighting for the attention for the girls. And so we have to, I'm going to be trialing this on the actual horses to see. Most of the time, the big horses are quite quiet, but when it comes around to feeding time, there can be a little bit of competition, and even though they have more than enough feed, because we have 10 acres of, it's interesting. I think you can use this application in so many different ways. And I'm having fun using it and trialing it on the animals and ourselves and for my clients. So I'm very grateful and for this opportunity to share our experience. And thank you so much, Tammy, for telling me when I was telling you what I was doing, and you saw the opportunity. You could see how this would benefit me, and it absolutely has. And it's only been 2 weeks in, and I'm using it and loving it. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful.
You're welcome. And when you connect with people, you just don't know, right? You just reconnect with somebody, see where they're at in their lives, and yeah, when you actually took my belief to another level of what we actually have in our hands based on your background and your credibility, I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I, overall, folks, this is a story, and I'm telling you, there will be hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of stories that are going to come that you're going to hear. I really recommend, folks, don't be a secret agent. Share this with your social network. Let the people know. And at the same time, as you understand, there is a really interesting income opportunity if that is of interest to you. But understand that the product is there and it's available to you. So Jasmine and Anna, thank you so much for sharing your time with us here today. I know for you, I know it's in the morning, and Tammy and I, it's evening. So for us, it's the end of our day. And Anna, you're just starting your day. And those of you here that are watching this information, hey, listen, share your comments, share your feedback. Let us know what you think. Just smash that like button. Let's tell the algorithm that this is the kind of information that we want to share, to let YouTube just to share that with as many people as we can. So everybody, listen, have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening. Remember that this Tuesday, we're having Jim Pohl, who is going to be sharing the science with NuCalm. You do not want to miss that, and we'll give you an opportunity to also ask your questions. So make sure that you're there. So everybody have a great evening, and thank you so much, everybody who attended, and bye for now.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye. Enjoy your day.